So you think you know dolphins? Did you know the orca, that's the killer whale, is the largest dolphin in the cetaceans family, which includes dolphins, porpoises, and whales? An orca whale is indeed a dolphin. In fact, the largest member of the oceanic dolphin family, called Delphinidae, killer whale, is the familiar name. But it belongs with the dolphins. All are marine mammals, warm-blooded, breathe air, and suckle their young. Despite the names porpoise and dolphin being used interchangeably, there are distinct differences. It's easier to tell you the difference between a dolphin and a tuna. You can't dolphin a guitar. Did you know porpoises are a group of 6 species with characteristic spade-shaped teeth and the absence of a distinct beak? Porpoises tend toward rounder faces and triangular dorsal fins. Dolphins may or may not have a beak and usually have many small pointed and cone-shaped teeth. Dolphins generally have elongated beaks and curved, hooked dorsal fins. They're both toothed cetaceans, but different animals. As calves, dolphins develop their very own signature whistles. They're basically naming themselves, creating a unique identifying sound that they keep throughout their lives and that allows other dolphins to recognize them. They sleep by putting one hemisphere of their brain asleep at a time, because they cannot set a timer to go up to the surface and inhale air, and breathing is voluntary for them. Also, if one hemisphere wasn't alert, they would be in danger from predators like sharks. There is a strong relationship with mom. Calves can be suckled for 8 to 16 months if they are a smaller species of dolphin. It appears that as calves are born tail first, that other dolphins nudge the newborn to the surface for their first breath. And by the way, being born tail first minimizes the risk of drowning. And did you know calves are born with stripes along their bodies? They're called fetal folds. They come from being folded in the womb. The stripes fade as the calf grows. A group of dolphins who live and swim together is called a pod. Most sizes range from 2 to 40 dolphins, but some can form superpods of hundreds or thousands. And the pods could be all juvenile groups, bachelor groups, or mothers and calves. Pods are helpful for hunting food, protecting each other from sharks, and for raising their young. Of course, I might suggest that dolphins get a lot of their information from podcasts like you are now getting from me. Incredibly, the blowhole on top of a dolphin's head takes in air so fast that in some species it takes only about 1/5 of a second to exhale and refill the lungs. A calm dolphin may breathe only once or twice every 2 minutes, but when swimming fast or playing, that can increase to 3 to 5 breaths a minute. They breathe through that single blowhole, exchanging as much as 90% of the air in their lungs with each breath. And then there's the bottlenose dolphin, which can stay underwater for 13 minutes or more. Vision is another fascinating subject about dolphins. Although they have binocular vision, they usually just use one eye to examine objects they find interesting. Some see as well out of water as in water. Mainly they see their world using sound, emitting rapid clicks that bounce off objects, which then paints a detailed acoustical picture of their surroundings. You could almost call it a superpower. The echoes can reveal astonishing information about objects they can't simply see with their eyes. Dolphins can hear well in air, but underwater it happens mainly through sound conducting through the bones in the skull and lower jaw. Dolphins are chatty creatures who make a variety of sounds, including their whistles, squawks, squeaks, clicks, moans, barks, groans, and yelps. And ironically, we humans have discovered they make a special sound when they are annoyed. It's called a shift. And that founding FF, because it's CHUFS, is like a fast breath of air rushing out. How appropriate. Underwater noise is a threat to dolphins, just as marine traffic, noise pollution from naval activities, seismic surveys, trawlers, their engines, and neck entanglement is not always avoidable. NOAA says intense underwater sound in some circumstances may contribute to dolphin strandings, while ocean noise can disrupt feeding, communication, and orientation, and potentially damage hearing. Dolphins make tools. Skin on the lower jaw is so sensitive, dolphins investigate small objects the same way humans do with their hands. When they know they might cut or otherwise hurt their beaks, they find sponges and cover their beaks to search in between sharp rocks. Dolphins play, surf waves, leap, interact, explore, and invent behaviors seemingly beyond immediate survival needs. Their pectoral fins steer them. Those are the fins or flippers on their sides. They use them to brake also. Those pectoral fins are also how they socialize with one another by rubbing other dolphins with them. But it is the scars, nicks, and notches on their dorsal fins that allow people to follow bottlenose dolphins over time. And like our fingerprints, each dolphin's fin is unique. They eat, of course, fish, sea trout, spot, and pinfish, depending where their geographical location is. Some populations pass down specialized hunting traditions and tool use. They live inside complicated societies, and somehow this extraordinarily capable predator has also become one of the animals humans most associate with playfulness and joy. Dolphins are usually seen in pairs or a small group. Some species can gather in schools reaching several thousand. I remember when I was in my late 20s, I took out a catamaran into Bogue Inlet in Emerald Isle, North Carolina. Dolphins swam beside me, and then a couple came up between the two hulls just to engage with me. One of the most memorable and precious experiences of my life. What happened to me wasn't memorable because dolphins performed. They had an entire ocean available to them, and they chose to investigate me. Having two of them actually come between the hulls was astonishing because I didn't summon, feed, train, or try to restrain them. That experience on the catamaran inspired my episode Cover Art. The reasons the cover art honors and captures the essence of dolphins. The three dolphins almost demonstrate those words without my having to explain them. They're alert, they're together, and there's an irresistible vitality about them. The heart and soul of this episode can be described with one French turn of words, joie de vivre. Not a dolphin performing, not jumping through a hoop, not a human touching one. Wild dolphins choosing to approach. Imagine dolphins are just beneath the surface. Above is brilliant sunlight, perhaps late afternoon gold, penetrating turquoise blue water in shafts. Below, the water becomes a gorgeous, mysterious deep blue. The nearest dolphin is coming toward us, but not performing for us. It is looking at us. Relationship without captivity. We humans have come to understand dolphins can be mystical, magical, astonishing, otherworldly. These words basically describe the experience of encountering what dolphins can do. Across a number of cultures, dolphins appear in mythology as sacred guides, divine messengers, and protectors of sailors. Because they were revered for their intelligence and playful good nature, they bridged a gap between the mysterious depths of the ocean and the human world. In Greek and Roman mythology, dolphins were loyal companions of the sea gods. One dolphin famously helped Poseidon win the heart of a sea nymph, Amphitrite, and she became the Greek queen of the sea and Poseidon's wife. The god Apollo transformed himself into a dolphin to guide Cretan merchants to the shores of Delphi, which is where they established the famous Oracle Temple. Dionysus, a son of Zeus, was the Greek god of wine, grape cultivation, fertility, ritual madness, theater, and religious ecstasy. Once he was captured by cynical sailors, so he turned them into dolphins, tasking them to assist humans in distress at sea. The Greeks viewed harming a dolphin as a severe crime against the gods. Legends tell of dolphins rescuing shipwrecked humans to safety. Polynesians and Hawaiian lore link dolphins as sacred marine life and view them as guardian ancestors, shapeshifters, and guides for lost fishermen. One of my favorite myths is that of the pink river dolphin who lives in the Amazon River, who could transform into a handsome human at night, walking onto land to charm villagers before returning to the river. For the record, I chose a dolphin to be my representative icon when I go to the Disney Channel. Just another connection we can choose to make when we identify with a specific animal. We think we know dolphins because they are familiar to us. Then we discover how profoundly unfamiliar they actually are. Dolphins offer a profoundly emotional temperature because they are brilliant, relational, and exuberant. Lifespan estimates are challenging for several reasons. There are at least 42 to 45 species of dolphins, and we humans haven't been able to live with them underwater and track as well as we might. There are the freshwater dolphins, the marine dolphins, and many have a different name, physical appearance, and even different foods they eat. There isn't one useful answer to how long does a dolphin live, because we're dealing with many species, populations, sexes, and environments. NOAA actually lists the estimated lifespan of some dolphin species as unknown, while rhesus dolphins, for example, are estimated to live at least 35 years. The rhesus dolphin is a sociable, stocky dolphin who will interact with other dolphin species like the bottlenose dolphins. They love squid, but depending on where they live in the world, they can eat prawn, shrimp, and cuttlefish. NOAA identifies long lines, trawls, and other commercial fishing gear as threats to multiple dolphin species. Entanglement or capture can injure or kill them. Then there is their biggest predator, sharks. I feel such wonder about dolphins when we acknowledge what these animals have to do to survive. In the 2000 Bahamas mass stranding, the Navy NMFS investigation concluded that mid-frequency tactical sonar was a causal factor in strandlings and deaths of big whales. They have names. They have societies. They teach and learn. They cooperate. They play. They sleep in a way almost unimaginable to us. Some use tools. And they live in a world built largely from sound. And we fill that world with nets, engines, and noise. There is a boundary between their world and ours. On swimming with dolphin attractions, I think it's an interesting ethical question. A child encountering a dolphin might indeed leave caring much more about dolphins. But there's another question underneath it. Does loving an intelligent wild animal entitle us to touch it, ride it, or confine it so that we can experience it? Often parents say they feel that swimming with dolphins helps their children and themselves to feel calm and less stressed. In the early 1960s, there was a television show called Flipper. There were 88 episodes. The character of Flipper was male, but the role was played almost entirely by female dolphins. Female dolphins were often preferred for the role because they tended to have fewer of the scratches and scars commonly seen on adult males. The main dolphin actors were named Kathy, Susie, Patty, Scotty, and Squirt. There was also a male dolphin named Clown who performed the difficult tail-walking behavior. The show was mainly filmed in Miami, Florida, and even Burt Reynolds was a guest twice in the series. At the time, much less was understood about the emotional and social needs of dolphins and the importance of freedom, stimulation, and interaction. When the series ended, the dolphins lost those constant daily interactions and became more confined. What happened afterward became a profound lesson for humans about dolphins. One of the trainers, Richard O'Berry, who worked closely with Kathy, was ultimately inspired by what he witnessed to become a prominent dolphin activist. Dolphin intelligence evolved for a profoundly different sensory and social world from ours, so ranking it against human intelligence can actually undersell what is remarkable about them: their communication, social alliances, individual recognition, learning, problem solving, cultural transmission, and in some populations, tool use give us plenty of astonishing evidence without having to declare a winner. Dolphins remind you to find joy and to play, to be present in the moment, to find happiness. They are graceful as they move through ocean currents or jump waves, showing us how to live peacefully with nature. Dolphins represent higher consciousness because of their large brains, complex social lives, and their association with ancient wisdom. Our connection with dolphins is a natural one given their ability to link us with the emotional power of the ocean and water in general. We share in spirit the deep breath of life and the social bonding that mirrors our own human family ties. Many people, and I'm one of them, believe dolphins can sense human feeling and thoughts without words. Think of the dolphins interacting with people near piers. A woman drops her phone accidentally into the water, and a dolphin retrieves it for her. In spiritual traditions and interpretations, dolphins are often viewed as conscious, high-vibrational bridge builders between the physical and divine. They symbolize unconditional joy, deep emotional healing, and harmony with nature, acting as spiritual guides that mirror our own capacity for empathy, breath awareness, and community connection. And speaking of mirrors, they are one of a few mammals who recognize themselves in a mirror. Dolphin reminds you to tune into the rhythm of your breath, to find patience and stillness. They bring the message of harmony and balance, healing, universal love, and that joy and play are yours to find and experience. Communication is important, whether it is telepathic or sounds, music, or utterances that speak to you. They teach us to flow with life, to help others, and protect others. And they remind us to be open to living in more than one environment. They mimic and acknowledge each other to maintain strong social bonds, and that means we need to be better active listeners. Listening for us is a learned art. They spend their lives actively learning, playing, solving new puzzles, and adapting to environmental changes just as we must. Intelligence describes what dolphins possess. Connection describes how they live. Joy describes how they appear to move through the world. This is why I feel dolphins are incredible. They are socially skilled, intelligent, agile, joyful, and playful creatures that share many emotional similarities with humans. There is an impressive range of different species of dolphin, and they all have their own unique identities and characteristics, and they absolutely need to live in freedom in the wild. Perhaps the dolphin's sacred wisdom isn't simply intelligence. Perhaps it's the reminder that intelligence and joy don't have to be opposites. They deserve our love and respect. I'm Carol Butler. Thank you for listening. I hope you'll follow Animals' Sacred Wisdom and share this with like-minded people. Tune in next week when we explore octopus. Did you know an octopus can detach its own arm to escape a predator when it's in danger? The detached arm keeps moving on its own to trick the attacker while the octopus swims away safely. And before you get upset, the octopus can grow a brand new arm later. As always, my intent is to have you listen, connect, reflect.